Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with JAYONBOXING here, giving you a preview and prediction for Mikaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan 2. But before we get started, you know the drill. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff definitely helps out. And of course, leave your picks down in the comments section below. I do greatly appreciate it. And a little bit of fight info here. As mentioned, this will be Mikaela Mayer taking on Sandy Ryan for the second time. This will be at the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas, Nevada, or the Fontainebleau at Las Vegas, Nevada. This will be airing on ESPN in the welterweight division, with Mayer's WBO welterweight title on the line that she won from Ryan in 2024. So yeah, I actually really like this fight. I'm very excited about this one. It's just a nice quality matchup. You know, their first fight showed they had even enough skills and a kind of good blending of styles, which is what you're looking for when you're trying to reproduce these kinds of fights. Now, perhaps a bit more familiar with one another, but maybe with a bit more to prove, we might see an even better fight than we did in September of 2024. Then, you know, it was a pretty back and forth scrap, but you saw the American Mayer get the majority decision in the end. This time, we are still on American soil in Las Vegas, a bigger stage, and both ladies want this one. You can tell it means something to them. Question is, who gets it done? But before we break this fight down, let's ask some of the more interesting questions we have leading into this encounter. First question I'd ask is, how confident will Mayer be? On some level, I think the winner always has some kind of edge. You know, beating someone gives you a lot of confidence that you can beat someone, surprisingly enough. That said, this fight was close. Could have gone either way, and Ryan came on strong late. Perhaps Mayer remembers those tough last few rounds the most. Kind of hard to say. Still, Mayer got the job done, and she has to feel confident she can continue the stuff she did well and improve anywhere else. I'd also ask, will Ryan be more focused? You know, aside from a few randos that think Ryan poured paint on herself for whatever reason prior to the first Mayer fight, I think most would agree Sandy probably had a bit to deal with outside the ring that was kind of distracting her. Now, provided we don't see any more trips to Sherwin-Williams before this fight, we have to imagine she will be much more locked in. And to be fair, she still fought her ass off that first time to begin with. So if you're a Ryan backer, you have to like your chances. A perhaps less focused Ryan did well. Imagine how well she may do if she's 100% concentrated on the task at hand and with some revenge on her mind. Scary proposition for the Mayer fans, perhaps. And finally, are we headed to another close fight? Short answer, yes. Until one of these girls gets hurt early and swings the fight's momentum wildly in one direction, and that would, make it beautiful, I just don't see much separating them skill-wise. They aren't the same style, but they are evenly matched, and their styles make for back-and-forth encounters. Again, I'm thinking another close one barring some big shot landing for either woman. So, all of that said, look for a relatively close encounter. Now, with that out of the way, let's break this fight down. Starting off with the champion, for Mayer to win, I think you want to keep the right hand quick. You have some pretty solid pop in it, and you don't need to force power out of it by trying to push it in there where it doesn't belong. Just keep it nice, loose, and quick. That is definitely going to help put some of that natural power into it and really have it make a lasting impression on this fight. What's more, it also preserves energy for you by not forcing you to try and put too much into every single shot. I'd also say use in and out movement. You can and should still circle, much like you did in that first encounter. It helped you get away from those pockets of danger and kind of set up your work better. But using in and out movement can also give her different looks and stop her from trying to get timing on you with some of that simpler movement just to one side or the other. You're just switching it up and adding variety. This also might burn a little bit less energy because going backwards and trying to fight for an entirety of 10 rounds is going to tire you out a bit more than just kind of controlling the center of the ring a bit more. And this would lead, of course, to using faster feet. Ryan isn't a fast-footed fighter. You definitely have her beat in that department. Use those feet to get in and out, as mentioned, and to create some of those angles that will make it harder for her to counter you. Also, defensively, it helps you get out of range, reset, and allows for you to really pick and choose your spots just a bit more. You want to be active, and of course that would lead to my next kind of key here, which is be busy but smart, but you don't want to overexert yourself for the sake of it. Give yourself time to think. You need to be active, especially in shorter rounds, but just make it meaningful. That said, preserve yourself throughout this fight. Don't just go gung-ho all 2 minutes of each and every single round. pick and choose those moments. Which sort of leads to my all-encompassing point for you, which is I think you want to build into the fight. You know, round after round and throughout the fight, kind of ending strong, you want to leave a lasting impression on the judges. And I think where you might have faltered in that first encounter was kind of coming out the gates hot, but perhaps fading a bit down the stretch. You don't want to do that here and leave that lasting impression and keep this fight closer than it needs to be. Build into the rounds and finish them strong, and continue to do that throughout the fight so that you're winning rounds more and more consistently in the fight and giving judges that impression that you are in control and dictating the terms. Now, switching over to the former titleist and challenger now in Ryan, I think you want to keep the jab long. For starters, you have a solid jab, and it's a heavy one. You can land it with some force, but you also have a bit of reach. Use it, you might as well. You can also double that jab and kind of stop Maia from rushing in. It'll push her back a bit more, force her to reset when she doesn't want to, and then allow for you to open up a lot more of your offense. Part of that offense should be making sure that you land the left hook. I think as a single shot, it's probably your best, and you can land it both to the body and upstairs. That can definitely work for you when Maia perhaps throws a bit of a lazy jab, or when you just find those openings for it, especially down to the body. This will slow Maia down, who has the faster feet, the faster hands. You want to tire her out, and the earlier you can do it, the better, and you can take over the action a bit earlier than you might have done in that first encounter. But another way to tire her is just simple stuff like cutting off the ring, which I think you need to do a better job of in this encounter. You started to get that going a bit in that first fight, but you need to do it kind of from bell to bell in this case. Just simple stuff. Step to the side and take away those exits, then start applying that pressure to really physically and mentally drain her. Once she gets a bit more drained, one of the things that Maia happens to do is throws out a lazier jab. You're going to want to time that lazy jab. She'll get tired, especially late, and something over the top of that can definitely hurt her, or at the very least get her respect and catch her attention. This will also keep her from shooting out with some of her offense, and it really works as a way of kind of using it as almost defense, because you're forcing her into much more of a shell, and that lack of activity can be used to your advantage, especially as you want to look to finish the rounds stronger. You don't want to let Maia maintain momentum. That's what she's going to look to do in this fight. I can feel it based on how that first fight went. No bueno. Can't let it happen. You, like Maia, need to leave the lasting impression, and that can bleed into the next rounds, and you can build far more momentum and give yourself the best chance of finishing off your opponent. Now, in terms of my pick here, I'm going with the repeat over revenge and rolling with Mikaela Mayer. I think Mayer will stay in the pocket early, just enough to get her shots off and then make Ryan chase. As this happens, this will allow for Mayer to build a bigger lead in this contest and preserve it throughout. Mayer will build a strong lead once again, as she did in that first fight, but will keep enough in the tank to finish the fight strong, landing quick right hands, getting in and out, and not leaving herself exposed. Some of those quality right hands she landed in that first fight, I think, will continue to land in this one, ultimately giving her enough of a cushion to earn yet another decision. Winner, Mikaela Mayer, close, unanimous decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, I mean, they are as close as you can expect them to be. Both are coming in at a -110, which is fair. This is a very pick'em sort of pick'em. In terms of the over-under, I think it's probably going to be set at 8.5 based on their styles. I haven't been able to find an over-under officially just yet, but that's where I would find it. I think, however, the value in this fight really does come from those straight pick'em lines just because of how close they are. Who do you got? Do you agree with me? Mayer's a great value. You think Ryan is going to get a revenge? She's a great value too. It just depends on how you lean, because the money line is very fair in this one, perhaps to some unfortunate degree, but it is. It's a very fair line, so it just kind of depends on your preference in this one. But in any event, those are your odds. And my prediction record as of this recording is 2-1 with 1 exact for the year. But let me know your thoughts, your bets, your picks, all that good stuff down in the comments. And of course, check out the social media up top. Check out JAYONBOXING.com, subscribe, and check out another video here. Until next time.